Good day, everybody. My name is RagingRaptor, and I welcome you to a wonderful new World of Tanks video. And today, I thought the day couldn't get any better, because today was the day we, as the CCs, got the Burask Batchatillon tank credited to our account, which is a very cool thing. I was looking forward to this tank for quite some time now, as it looks, in my opinion, like a very unique, very fun experience to play. I didn't play it yet. As you can see, there is nothing in this tank yet. While I was sitting in class, listening to thermal and fluid dynamic stuffs, I saw this article about the changes about Sandbox, or rather, what exactly happened on the Sandbox and what is the general feedback for now until the survey comes. And I was already happy that knowing that I got this tank, and then reading what was in there made me so happy and glad, because many things which were written in there are, in my personal eyes, things I saw as issues as well as good things about the Sandbox server test circle. So yeah, today I want to present that Wargaming actually listened to their community. Apparently there was also a big uproar from the Russian community, which I sadly cannot confirm as I do not speak Russian. But I know for a fact that my German community really didn't like most changes in the Sandbox. I know for a fact that most of you guys didn't really like the changes from the Sandbox. And also I just saw it in general on Reddit, on other videos, comments, on CC, Discord in general. So yeah, it's great to see that Wargaming definitely listened to us and says what's next about the Sandbox server and its result. And again, in this video today, I just want to go through them, give you again my personal opinion on those matters, and just also want to know what you think. Is it a good thing that Wargaming says, hold up, we might need to revisit things? Or do you think that we were crying too hard? I had a lot of people also writing, oh, you're such a whiny Unicum scrub lord. So yeah, let's go through things. So the first thing they're saying, the components rebalance that was subject to testing consists of many parts, and several reasonable doubts and questions were brought up to us by the community. The main question that was received from you during the test are as follows. Shell and HP pool rebalance. How will this affect gameplay? Will the vehicles have it even a harder time playing in the bottom tier position? Will tier 8 vehicles fight against tier 10 components with the same level of performance? Which vehicle will become more relevant in the new system and which less? What will happen to vehicles that have low penetration values for standard shells in the first place? How will everything affect premium vehicles? I would say that really those are the exact same things I personally question myself when I was playing the Sandbox and when I was writing my my 42-minute video about my personal feedback on the Sandbox server. So not only does it make me happy to see that maybe this video wasn't in vain, and second, those were really concerns I had, I saw other people's had, and I'm glad to see that Wargaming picked up on those concerns from the community, that they understand that we do want to know what is going to affect, because especially the tier 8 versus tier 10 ecosystem, which is already quite fragile in my opinion, could get even more disturbed by those changes, where tier 10 vehicles do more damage on comparison. They do not need to shoot gold ammunition against low tier opponents. And yeah, especially which vehicles will become more relevant or even more relevant. I'm sad to see that Wargaming decided not to say anything about weak spots, because this was, in my personal opinion, one of the biggest concerns. We have so many tanks in the game which do not have any weak spots. 279 really, Chieftain really, Super Cockwearer, you know, all those tanks, 268 version 4430U, they all lack proper weak spots, Type 5 heavy, or even the VK100 and 01P for the matter. They all lack crucial weak spots, which could make them more stronger in a meta where shooting gold ammunition or premium rounds or special rounds gets less effective. So I'm glad to see that Wargaming really wants to reconsider that. And they say, we understand and share your concerns about those issues. The main purpose was to check how increasing the vehicle's lifetime in battle and enhancing the role of armor may affect the game balance before intruding any changes to specific vehicles. This is already clear from the get-go, as you could see how there was basically just an algorithm running through the game and adjusting most things. There were some things, some tanks, which really got looked into more carefully, like the T-54E1, which was actually shouted out to me by a Wargaming developer, which said, hey, have a look at it. And for sure, the T-54E1 got a much better standard penetration and a much better premium round penetration. But in most cases, tanks just really, it looked to me like they went through an algorithm and didn't really had anybody went really into it and looking at the strengths and weaknesses of the tank and so on and so forth. This is why we had this shenanigans of the SU-100 and Y, where literally the premium round was absolutely useless. And thanks to Sandbox testing, we now have the necessary data to keep making progress with our research and future development. That is good to hear. And again, don't forget, there will be a survey coming. They're having some issues right now on the 19th of February. The survey should come today or tomorrow in the live server if you played the Sandbox server. So again, give your feedback right there. Keep it going. Let's try to make World of Tanks better in that kind of sense. Next, changes to HE shells. You quite rightly noted that the new mechanics of causing damage with HE shells did not become more understandable and predictable. This is something I personally noticed a lot and a ton hard. That, for example, now you could spam in somebody's tracks and you do some damage because you splash into the fighting compartment. In a Sandbox server, this was not the case. You did literally 0 damage while hitting tracks, even with KV2 types of guns, you know? That was really, really awkward to me. And I personally still would like to recommend watching my FV video and the E100 video where I was shooting HESH and HE to show you how I felt about shooting HE only and how I felt about the predictability and understandability of those different things. And they say, which means that the implementation of this idea did not work as intended. Also, it was a mistake to remove penetration from the parameter of HE shells. I am so incredibly happy hearing that. Like, I was literally sitting in class and was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm so excited to share this information with you guys. I know it's publicly available, you can read it for yourself, but I am incredibly and increasingly happy that Wargaming said, you know what, removing pen of HE really is not the way to go. I do think that HE shells shouldn't have a lot of penetration, but at least some, so they can punish lightly armored vehicles like light tanks, like Guerrilla 15s, like the Waffenträger series in general, like artillery. So that is a very, very, very uplifting thing to read for me personally. We wanted to rework not only the mechanics of causing damage with HE, but also specific parameters of this shell type. So again, I do think it is good that HE deals less damage when not penning. And again, I do think it's a good idea that it deals less module damage in general when not penning. But the other things, they admitted, didn't really work out that well. So that is a big thumbs up that Wargaming understood that and publicly says, hey, we were wrong. It's important to say sometimes when you are wrong, except when it's me, obviously, I'm always right. Jokes aside, let's go on to the SPG rebalance. Our goal when testing artillery was to add more diversity to gameplay and decrease the overall duration of the stun effect. The tested SPG rework makes sense only in conjunction with the shell rebalance. We will get back to the SPG rebalance once a new solution for the shell rebalance has been designed. So, I again want to point out, I do not dislike the changes of artillery where they have to decide between being a team player or being a damage dealer. So I understand that this is in conjunction with the shell rebalance and HP buffs. That makes totally sense. But I'm also a bit saddened to hear that they say maybe we were a little bit wrong. One thing can be said for sure, armor-piercing shells turned out to be ineffective and undesirable, and the shell paradigm, actually don't know what this word means, currently tested on Sandbox. So that is very, very cool to hear that they also understand that shooting armor-piercing, it's not inherently bad, but in general, whenever I was playing on Sandbox server, it felt useless, as most tanks, you did the same amount of damage when you were shooting HE. And you had the chance of penning with HE, which made a lot more damage. Plus you had the chance of splashing with HE to not get punished while missing. So IP shells, I still am conflicted about them, and I still do not really hope they come back in a lot of damage, like doing like FV levels of damage with AP, you know. They're saying it's already clear that the new paradigm of shells and the reworked HP pool of vehicles together with the mechanics of HE shells and SPG rebalance require further improvements and are not ready for release in their current state. I actually want to know what this is. Paradigm. I'm sorry, I actually don't understand. Oh wait, cool. It's the same word in German. It's okay. Now I understand. Confirmed hypothesis. Tech tree changes and collector's vehicle. The tech tree interface became more user-friendly and transparent. Yes, this is something I personally noticed. There is now an universal layout for vehicles types inside the tech tree. You don't have to start researching a new branch from low-tier vehicles, which will spare the time, experience, and effort, especially for players primarily interested in high-tier vehicles. This kind of makes sense, but it also shows that Wargaming's focus is on getting more players quicker to higher tiers. It feels like, at least. Obviously, in higher tiers you burn more credits, so it looks like Wargaming kind of wants to rush people to get into high tiers so they get premium accounts. Makes sense to me. It's a free-to-play company. They want to make money. Your concerns were mainly related to the vehicles moved from the tech tree to the collector's vehicle section into the in-game store, and the assumption that they would disappear from the game for good. However, we'd like to assure you that this is not going to happen. This was actually already known that those tanks will not vanish, but the next paragraph is very important and should have been there already in the previous posts. If these changes go into the main version, these vehicles, including those of tier 6 and to tier 10, will be accessible and available for purchase with credits. This was very important because we so far did not know yet what is going to happen with 30B, AMX 30, T62A, Jack Panther 2, 113, and they're saying you will be able to purchase them with credits. There is no need to rush into researching these vehicles, as you will be able to buy them at any time after the potential update goes live. Very good explanation by Wargaming. Glad to hear that they finally made it. In my opinion, it's a little bit too late because there was a lot of uproar, but it's good that they right now clarify that. Then, on the Sandbox server, we additionally increased the HP of all tier 1 to tier 6 vehicles, which made the power progression from tier to tier smoother and more consistent. The results fully justified our expectation. Your feedback showed us that the cost of mistakes in battles was reduced, and low tier vehicles now survive for a longer time. The average duration of battle has increased together with the overall comfort of playing in those vehicles. Again, as somebody which does not have a lot of experience in low tiers, I think up to tier 5, it's a very welcome change, and I'm happy to see that Wargaming says that as well. About tier 6, I'm a little bit conflicted, but I can work with that. I'm totally can work with that. Please note that we will finalize the exact values of the HP increase after we analyze the data from the test. So, that is good to hear that we will at least get the low tier HP buffs, because it desperately needs to be there for me. I do think more HP in lower tiers 1 to 4 will make player experience for new players better, as they don't get punished immediately. Again, the example from the forums, imagine an Object 140 on tier 10 having 750 alpha. That is how it is right now on the live server to play low tiers. So, and last, what's next? Today the Sandbox server will shut down. Now we have plenty of statistics and your feedback, and we are waiting for the results of the questionnaire. Thank you for filling it in, by the way. We hope you liked the reward for helping us out. We will not release the new balance as you saw it on Sandbox. We need some time to conduct a complex analysis and understand what kind of adjustments are needed. So now this red or reddish lined box is probably the most important one. Several solutions implemented in the Sandbox server were successful, but some of them still need to be adjusted as a result. Number 1, we will proceed with the HP increase for low tier vehicles. the rework of tech trees, and the implementation of collector's vehicle, at which point we will share more details in the future. This means Wargaming is happy with HP increase, rework tech tree, and the collector's vehicle. This will now come 100% for sure, how this is worded. And I am not against it. I think this is great. Other changes, including the shell type rebalancing, HE mechanics, and SPG rework, require a thorough review and will not be released anytime soon. And this is, in my opinion, the single most important sentence of the whole paper. It shows Wargaming understood that many players were not happy with the shell type rebalance, HE mechanics, and SPG rework. And I'm so glad. I'm genuinely happy and glad to read this, as it shows me Wargaming does not want to push something just through because they work now a year on it. I'm very glad to see that we will get another iteration with other ideas, proposals, and so on. Very happy, and I have to say thank you so much, Wargaming, for taking EU, NA, as well as Asia serious in together with Russia. Because the biggest uproar definitely came from EU and NA. You could see it from the forum posts, you could see it from the videos, you can see it from the likes and dislikes about the whole topic on the official Wargaming videos. So yeah, that is, I'm genuinely relieved. Really, relieved is the word of this video. We will also keep in mind the vehicles that were supposed to be checked with the new balance test occurs. We'll be ready to talk about our future steps and potential updates for all the features and vehicles around mid-March. That is already quite fast. We would like to emphasize one important mention once again. Any global changes will not get into release without being tested by the players first. Thank you for participation and all the feedback that is important for us and keep moving in the right direction for us to make the right decisions. So, 100% mid-March or end of March we'll get another sandbox. I would bet 1,000 euros on that, to be honest. Because it really feels like that this sandbox and the feedback from the players, from the content creators was like, Wargaming, listen to us. It was a wake-up call, I think. It was a wake-up call. We really did shake them awake and say them, not like this. And I'm very happy that this was the case. Let me know what you all think about the whole article, what you think about what Wargaming did. Do you agree with Wargaming's decision? Do you agree with my personal opinion? And obviously, let me know your personal opinion. And once again, do not forget to write that questionnaire. If you played Sandbox, voice your opinion in that questionnaire. This article really did show me that we as a community were able to avert a big failing train. So I'm very glad to see that we were able to get it onto a separate track, to make it slow down, and most likely do not have any fatal damage. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy me as a person and my content, feel free to leave a like and always a subscription. I would be very happy about it. If not, let me know what I can do better as a person. What is your feedback to me? We showed already, we gave feedback to Wargaming, give me some feedback. Thank you so much for watching. Keep an eye out to my, let me give a second. Burask tank preview, review, and tank gameplays. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers and have fun at the marathon.